Archana.
Hi
So,
Ashish.
can you brief me about yourself, about the
Just a minute.
project you have worked on, about the technology you have used, and what is the day-to-day work that you are doing in the current project?
Okay, thank you for having me. My name is Archana Tripathi. I have completed my MBA in Finance from Bhopal, and I do have total 5.8 years experience into Power BI and SQL. I have worked into various projects like sales, insurance, banking, HR, and my current project is into medical domain. I have started my career from DBS from 2023, sorry, from 2020, 2017 uh, as an analyst. So there I have handled multiple projects like sales, insurance, banking, and mostly I have handled HR projects there. And I worked there until 2023. And in 2023, I have joined Decos. In Decos, I have worked into medical domain projects. So my project was basically for the Netherlands-based client called Natus. So they were into manufacturing of medical equipments, so they were specifically into neuro and sensory. So we were right now building the analytical solution that can give insight about the performance like licensing of software, risk analysis, security analysis. For that, I was using the import mode for, and data source was SQL, Jira, and GitHub. And for the KPI, I was showing low, high, medium performance for Black Duck and Coverity. For the Black Duck and Coverity are the two software there. So they were showing their performance into low, high, medium performance wise, whatever their product are. For that, I have to show it into my dashboard for the Black Duck and Coverity, security licensing, or uh, risk security licensing and operation wise. So for that I was using the stack bar chart, and for the Jira I was monitoring the performance there, like a task wise performance, what task has been done and pending, and that task I have to show through the line chart, sorry, trend chart.
Okay. And the technology was majorly a SQL part you have worked on, correct?
Majorly Power BI and SQL. Like data source was SQL, Excel, Excel file. These were the data source. GitHub. These were the data source was there, and I worked
So,
on the
what
Power
you
BI.
were reading from the GitHub? Which kind of data you were reading from the GitHub?
GitHub data, they were asking for the pull request data, and the task wise assign. So that data they were
So, how
asking.
you were extracting the data from GitHub?
Direct source, like direct query mode. For the GitHub data only, I was using the direct
Hmm.
query mode.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And what other sources you have used?
I've used like a SQL. I worked on Excel and like JSON files and all. These things I have worked
So
on.
how you were reading the JSON data? Like, is it in the SQL query you were reading the JSON data, or you were using the SSIS package to read the JSON?
No, SQL query. So we were having the SQL developers, so they were pulling the data into the SQL all the modification they were doing it. So I was pulling out the data from the SQL.
Okay. So majorly you have exposure on SQL and Power BI,
Yes.
and on SSIS part,
SSIS part I haven't worked on.
on Azure part, any idea or any?
I have pulled out the data from the Azure, but I haven't worked on, like, I mostly my worked into the SQL only. Most of the data source was the SQL only, so I haven't worked on the
Okay.
Azure.
So let's suppose there is one query that is a very big query. You have multiple joins and you have some logic written. That query was ideally getting executed in 10 to 15 minutes, but from last 2 days it is taking more than half an hour. So what will be your approach? What you will look into the query? What has happened in the query that is it has started taking more time than the regular time that it was usually taking
So into SQL or Power BI?
in SQL only.
So SQL, we can check the indexing, and the query folding we can check there.
But the indexing is already working fine when it was running fine. So how will the index will change in 2 days only?
So like connection, we need to check the whether the connection is working fine or not.
So you are running the data on database only, na? So it is a query that it is being executed on the particular database on under with some tables in the join condition. It was working fine till some day back, but it was already automatically getting delayed from last 2 days. What had happened in that query? Any idea how you will look into it? Like what had happened in that data or what had happened into the query that it has started taking more time than expected time?
So like maybe the the data is whatever the data refresh is happening, they must have the data not refreshed. What is the data type we need to check? We need to check the queries what we have performed on the possible cause of slowdown. Like we can check the query execution plan for a bottleneck, like review recent
So
schema
what you
that
will check
needs,
in the query execution plan?
like whatever the queries what we have applied, is there any changes has happened there,
So
like
like in query execution plan, if you open, there is a plan that SQL shows you. So what are the key points that you will check in the query execution
like we
plan?
can check the data volume, like if the data volume has affected or not, like optimization
Hmm.
effort of targeting and text, or as we can implement a recent schema update and server, like server configuration adjustment we can check. So these things we can check there, or monitor several logs for update or impacting performance metrics.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that way we can check the optimization there. DDL DML command what I have implemented, so that we need to check the whether is there any changes on that. So
Okay.
that way we can check
So which
the
version of SQL you have used?
SQL Server, MySQL.
So which SQL server version? It was like in backend, which version of that SQL you have used?
Normal server, SQL Server I have used, like desktop based.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So do you know, have you any idea what are the indexes that we have in SQL and how it works?
And indexes, yeah, I do have the idea about the SQL, like where, join, order by, or group by. These are
So
the indexes.
what are indexes and how many types of indexes does SQL support?
Like it help you out to improve query performance by query performance, or certain like define the physical order of data row, or like cluster indexes are there, non-cluster indexes are there, and unique
What is the
indexes.
difference between cluster indexes and non-cluster index?
Like non-cluster cluster index defines the physical order of data row in a table based on the indexes column.
Hmm.
And and the non-cluster index contain pointer to the actual data rows stored in the non-ordered structure and separate from the data
So how
rows.
many cluster and non-cluster index you can create on a table?
How many
Is
cluster or
there any
non-cluster index are
is there
available?
any limit? Like how this is the number of cluster and non-cluster index you can create on particular table?
In non-cluster index we can have multiple tables there.
Okay, and cluster index?
In cluster index cluster index we can define like and only one cluster indexes can be created per table, so this index can define the physical order of data row in the table.
What is
On
the column store index? Any idea?
like its type of indexes, it unlike traditional row based indexes or column store indexes, it organizes store data by the column, like rather than by rows. So
Okay,
it will
okay,
provide a performance improvement to analytical systems. So it will help you out to performance optimization into the SQL server.
okay. So which one is better? Like column store index works better or the the normal cluster index or the non-cluster index that we have in SQL works better?
So this effectiveness, like cluster, everyone have different advantages. So, like
Okay,
cluster indices choose when queries often retrieve the range of data, or when data retrieve speed of critical, and the indexes column are frequently used that. And the known cluster indexes choose when optimization of queries that filter by the non-primary key column, or when the needed of enforce uniqueness or without affecting physical data order.
Okay. Perfect.
So
So,
in between the choice of like cluster or non-cluster data depend on the your specific database schema, like query pattern and the performance requirement. Like both type have their strength and weaknesses there.
okay. Okay. So, what are DDL and what are DML queries in SQL?
DDL DML command use to define and manage the structure of database like create, alter, drop, delete. These are the DDML command are there. So when we have to create the table, we can use a DDL command. And the DML command is to insert, update, or delete are the DML command.
Okay. And DQL? Any idea? What are
DQ,
DQL commands?
DQL command are the I haven't worked on the much into the DQL command, but
Mhm.
it's a data query language is a like category of SQL command is specifically used for query data from database table. Like we can select like we can retrieve data from the one or more table based on that. Like select from
Okay.
where these are the DQL commands.
Okay. So let's suppose there is one organization in which in that we have one table for the employee table. In that we have employee ID, employee name, and their department and the salary of each employee. You need to find the fifth highest salary of an employee. How you will write the query? Can you drop me a query here in the chat window?
Okay. Like to find the fifth highest salary for an employee.
Yes, from employee table.
So the inner query select the salary from the
Uh,
employee table and use for trends rank like window function to assign the rank for each salary's descending order. And dense rank will help
why
us
you
out.
have used dense rank?
It assign rank without gaps in ranking values when there are ties.
And what if you use row number there instead of dense rank?
The row number also we can use, but dense rank with like will provide the ranking value. We need the highest salary, no?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like it will
So
not
what is
provide
the difference between rank and dense rank function?
like dense rank. It will provide the dense rank provide the highest value there. Like it will provide the ranking there.
So rank will
Like
also provide the rank there.
like
So what is the difference between these?
rank assigned without dense rank assigned without gap in ranking values when there are ties, but the rank is it assign a unique rank to each distinct row based on the if it's like a specified ordering. So into the rank for example if multiple rows share the same rank, the next rank is incremented by the number of rows that have the same rank.
Mhm.
And the dance rank assign a unique rank to each distinct row like similar to rank by but
Let's suppose you have a ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have a salary of an employee 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and 4,000. So what will be the value for rank when you will be use rank, and what will be the value for dense rank when you will be using dense rank? The data is something like this. This is the data. Now you have to add a column here that one will be creating a rank on the basis of rank function, and one will be creating a rank on basis of dense rank function.
so for the rank 4000 and the 4000 will come like 1 1.
Just add it here, like what will be the output when you will be using rank, and what will be the output when you will be using dense rank. Just
Okay.
add one more column, something called rank, and provide the value. What will be the output that you
Okay, for
expect
the
it will have?
rank, this is for rank, and for the dense rank.
So this one will be for dense rank.
Yeah, so for both the instances, 4000 get a rank of 1, and the next highest salary
Oh,
will be 3000 get a rank of 2 without any gaps. and the salary 2000 get a rank of 3, and the salary 1000 get a rank of 4. And for the provide salary, like, so salary, yeah.
Okay. 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 I am good. Is there anything you want to ask, Archana?
What would be the JD? Like SQL I have to work on the Power BI as well.
The Power BI reporting will be less.
Hmm.
Majorly, we'll be working on SQL, and there is another Spark technologies that you might be working on. It will be not purely on SQL.
Okay.
It will be something on SQL, PySpark, Python. We are looking for the candidate who has that much knowledge. Ideally, you will be getting a chance to work on Databricks.
Oh wow.
So it will be, you will be writing a SQL query there, but you will be also writing for some Python code to optimize the query and to work it with the unstructured data. Since SQL is only the structured data, but we will be reading the data from unstructured sources also. So you will be using the PySpark in that case.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
Is
Okay.
there anything else, Darshana?
No, no.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.